Hi guys, Unknown Artist, 301 Thursdays. I don't even remember what episode we're on. How do we even do this thing? Nobody
Very
remembers.
disorganized.
Yeah, it's super. I like how we had a good conversation going though. It's all good.
Something so disorganized.
It's just the leaves. Okay. Basically, with us today, if you've never been here for the podcast, what we do, we talk, we have a topic, we answer questions. We got a Chase, Uncle Strokey, Padre doing that. We have a censored Ethan Rythmn boy doing the same thing, which you can't see at the moment. Wink. We got Helen with no face cam because she's too cool for us, and then
She's not a real person.
Yours truly.
Yeah,
No face.
Just imagine.
Ventriloquism.
She's from Canada. It's okay.
No. Just imagine that I have like my face there.
Okay. Cut real quick back in. Super cool animation. Okay.
What are you doing, the Batman thing?
Yes.
Oh no.
No.
I know how to do it. I'll do it. I'll just zoom out, spin out, and then come back.
Well, we need Chase's opinion. Just there you go.
Chase's opinion. Chase, what's your opinion right now on anything? Go.
Eating ass is cool.
Hells yeah.
You knew I was gonna go with that.
I know. Right? I shouldn't be disappointed, but I still am. I don't know. Anyways,
trash, but you're still let down. It's the way of life.
Anyways, welcome to 301 Thursdays. This is our podcast we used to do all the time. We're finally back with it.
I'm here now.
Helen's here now. Ethan Boy's here now. Yeah, Chase's finally back. He was only there for one episode.
I used to watch
but it was the most important episode you ever did.
Yeah, most important.
I wasn't subbed when this podcast was a thing. So.
You weren't subbed until like 4 months ago.
No, I subbed to you in May.
Oh shit! Okay, but you didn't start watching until 4 months ago.
5 months.
Oh. Yeah. Introductions. Do we want to do that thing? You want to do? Do we want to do Two Truths and a Lie? Do we want to do Never Have I Ever?
Never.
Take a vote. Never Have I Ever. Ethan.
I needed time to think about my two truths and a lie.
I already have 2 truths and a lie.
Hold on,
Everything
wait,
I
what?
say sounds like a lie, to be honest.
Honestly, if I get into my character, then I'm gonna fucking.
Everybody thinks my truths are always too outrageous to be true, so.
It could be fun.
Yeah.
Let's do that then.
Yeah. That one time, I just literally just ran up to this guy, tackled him, pulled out his pants down, and just started wailing on his cock. That sounds like a chase.
I believe that though. That wouldn't be the lie if you said that.
And secretly, it was me all along.
Oh no!
Y'all need Jesus?
It was me in the alley. Yeah, okay, minister.
What are you doing in an alley that late?
What are you doing in the alley that late?
I was there too.
Goodness. All right, Two Truths and a Lie. Who wants to go first?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I have to think about those. That's
Okay, Helen, you said you got yours then. Let's do this.
Yeah, but you can't answer because you know.
Fuck, fine.
Charlie,
Okay, wait. Let's do it this way then. Let's do it this way. So, in my perspective right now, Chase is in the top left corner, Ethan's in top right, Helen's in bottom left, I'm in bottom right. So we'll go in a clockwise pattern. So it'll go Chase to Ethan, Ethan to me, and then me to Helen, Helen to Chase. So Chase has to guess first.
Also,
Okay.
In my perspective, Dustin, you're top left, Helen's top right, Chase is bottom left, and I'm bottom right.
So it's just
That's my
inverse.
perspective.
Chase is no
Okay.
bottom. I'm a top all the way.
I personally like to switch, but I guess it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Good
It's okay.
for you.
We'll make two, Chase. We'll make two. We'll figure it out.
I can't think of a lie.
It's fine.
Come up with an outrageous thing. Don't worry about it. Okay, Helen, go first.
Okay, so I have 2 siblings. I used to wear panties on my head and pretend I'm a superhero when I was 4. And I got bullied for a year.
Come on, Chase.
Come
on, Chase.
I'm not good at these because again, like any stories I have to tell are just some outrageous shit and people don't believe them. But that second one, that sounds like something I would say is the truth. So
Two truths.
Which one is the lie?
Which one's the lie? Okay, so let's recap. Let's recap. 2 siblings, panties on the head as a kid, bullied for a year.
Siblings.
True. Correct.
Oh fuck.
No, it
No,
was,
no,
you were
you're right.
correct.
You're right. That's the right one.
Oh,
You're right.
That was
That's
the lie.
Yeah, I was gonna say the other ones because 1, people are douchebags, and 2, again, that's just too outrageous to be like a random lie.
I can be creative with my lies, though.
Shit,
She
I
says.
can't think of one. I can't think of one. Got it. All right.
Let's do it.
Wait,
All
so
right.
who's guessing?
You're guessing.
Ah. All right.
Yeah.
I got stabbed by a meth head. I fucked a gravel pile.
Wait, what? Wait, say that last one again.
I fucked a gravel pile. I mean, like, not just like my dick touched it. I mean, I fucked a gravel pile. And I actually have a metal plate in my head right up here from being beaten with a hammer.
I know which one's the lie.
I'm sorry. What?
Hey, you heard him. Let's go.
I know which
can
one
I
the
have
lie
a
is.
recap real fast?
What was my first one?
That's why I asked for.
Oh,
a
I got
recap.
stabbed by a meth head.
Mm-hmm.
I fucked a gravel pile, as in there was a pile of gravel, and I did the sex with it. And I have a metal plate in my head from being beaten with a hammer. See, that's what I'm saying. None of that sounds true at all.
It's the second one. You've not fucked a gravel pile.
No, sir. It's the metal plate.
God,
Hit with the
you
hammer,
pointed.
Never got a plate.
You pointed to it was the thing that like gave it. I'm like,
Exactly. No, I have a scar up here if I move my hair, but I
Yep.
don't have a metal plate. So.
Yep.
Oh, well, I need the story behind
Yeah,
the
I was just
gravel.
gonna say, anytime I talk, there's always a story because somebody's gonna want to know. I think I've already told the meth head story, but
I think you did tell it. I'm not sure.
yeah. Just to recap, my girlfriend showed up on meth. I didn't know she did meth. She threw a whiskey glass at my head because I wouldn't let her walk to her house 2 hours away.
Yep.
And we sat down on the ground, and I was just like, just go inside and chill. You know, like I'll take you home tomorrow. And I remember seeing her arm do this, and then there was just like this kind of cold feeling in my foot. And I was like, that's weird. And I looked down, and she's got a piece of glass from that whiskey glass jabbed into my ankle, like right by my Achilles and by the ankle bone.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what the fuck? And I look at her, and she did it again real quick. And then she started crying and hugged me. So meth is a hell of a drug, apparently. So the second, the gravel pile.
Got some explaining to do.
I hadn't seen my lady friend in a while, and she came over, and we got kind of drunk, and she was like, you know what? You're going to fuck me tonight. And I was like, I planned on it, but all right. So we go outside. Now, mind you, there were 2 vehicles out there. One of them was a truck with a bed, a nice flat surface. So she goes, right here on this gravel pile. I'm drunk. I'm like, yes, we're doing it. So
He missed.
no, I came out, and so for like 5 minutes, I'm like, this feels weird. And she goes, I don't even think we're having sex. And I look down, and there's blood all over the gravel pile. So sure enough, I fucked a pile of rocks.
Oof.
And then for the other one, I was a kid, and my brother busted me in the head with a hammer and split my head open, but I didn't go to I refused to go to the hospital. I just sat there with a washcloth on my head, letting the blood soak up while I watched X-Men.
Oh yeah.
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 So, yeah, those are my 2 truths and half a lie.
Yeah.
This is what I bring to the table.
How are you
all
gonna
ask
recoup
this.
from that, Ethan? How are you gonna make something that impressive?
I look at the ones I just wrote down, and
See, this is why I can't play Never Have I Ever, because like
I
except getting
just-
jerked off by a spider monkey, I've done everything.
You mean 2 truths and a lie?
It's on my bucket list.
It's okay. Go ahead, Ethan. Tell us the real good.
Who's guessing for me?
Me.
Oh God. Okay, you're. Now I know you're gonna know one now, and then it's you. I have 4 dogs. Yeah.
Okay.
I failed 3rd grade math, and I got my first phone when I was 15.
Your first what? Phone?
Phone. I'm gonna look you dead in the eyes in the camera. So if you ever just want to know.
I think you have 4 dogs now. Because you
I
had...
believe
Yeah, because you
failed
just got the
class.
new one. You just got the new one, so you have 4 now. I've never heard a story about you failing math, so I might want to guess that one. And the phone, I would not doubt. So I'm going to guess... I'm going to say the phone you got when you were younger. I'm going to say the phone is a lie.
See, sir. No, I actually passed 3rd grade math with a C.
Oh, damn it!
My first phone was when about 15 and a half. I
Really?
didn't put a half. Yeah. And I'm 16, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm
That's a
real
new phone.
bummed because I thought
So I was right then.
I thought the truth was the math class.
Or...
Well, no, the lie was
No.
I failed 3rd grade math. I actually
Oh,
passed
okay,
3rd
okay, you
grade math
passed.
with a C.
Okay. Never mind. Messed it up. I lose.
Piece
Who's
of
all
shit.
who's actually all won? Chase won.
Chase one.
Chase won. Chase is the only
Chase
one who's
won
won.
twice. Chase won twice, technically.
Yeah. You're through yours.
I'm dumb.
I've almost drowned 4 times. I've only been in 1 car accident. And I once dressed during Halloween as a pumpkin.
The last one is a lie.
Wrong.
didn't
No.
even-
Other two take a guess.
No, because I know that you almost drowned, but I don't remember how many times.
It's the first one then.
It's the first one. Okay. Chase.
What was the second one? Give me that one again.
Okay, I said I've almost drowned 4 times. I've been only in 1 car accident.
That one.
And I've...
No.
Which one? The car accident?
Mm-hmm.
No, that's true.
Chase wins.
Why? Wait.
I've never been in a car accident.
Because
No,
I worked with him
no.
for at least a year.
You told me that you technically were in a car accident, but you weren't the one driving, like it was a bus or something like that. Because I told you to drive slower.
Dustin was the bus.
Ooh.
Drive slower. What do you mean?
I don't know. That's what I remember. But
A
I was probably
bus?
half asleep, so
I was
whatever.
gonna say I think I'm just talking about other friends.
Maybe.
I was gonna say the closest thing I've ever been to in a car accident actually was, ironically enough, I had my door open. My mother was in a hurry. She backed.
Yeah, that one.
She backed out and she clipped my door with her mirror.
I remember that one.
It only
That's
left. It only left a little dent in it, but that was the most that has ever happened.
Yeah.
But yeah,
See, that's
almost
why-
drowned
that's why
on
I
multiple
went last.
occasions.
Mhm.
And then when I was younger, yeah,
Why?
I don't know. I mean, like real young, like real young,
I mean,
That's
at least
fine.
he dressed as a pumpkin and wasn't trying to fuck one.
or a gravel pile.
Look, there was a female's anatomy right there. It was an honest, very drunk mistake. Okay.
That's a
Did you go to the hospital after that?
No, I kept going, and the next day I woke up and like my shirt was all bloody, and I realized not only, well, okay,
I think 1 out of the 2 are supposed to have blood coming out of their anatomy, and it was not supposed to be you.
well, here's the thing: is I woke up the next day, didn't have my shirt, and it was one of my favorite shirts. I still have it to this day because I use it as like a workout shirt, like if I'm playing soccer or some shit. Because
Your
holes
dick
all over the
blood
back for obvious reasons.
It's soaked into that
Yeah.
shirt, and you're still using it as a workout
It's my
shirt.
Back blood. I didn't do anything with the dick blood because I woke up the next day and the guy whose place I was living at, he was gone like 6 days a week. He was a laser technician, and so his house had burned down. So he converted the garage. So I was like
Mhm.
staying there taking care of the dogs and stuff like that, and so we used to piss where the house was because there was like a 6-foot drop, you know, and that used to be where the basement was or whatever. So I walk out, I get my shirt, like I throw it over my shoulder. I'm like, dude, you know, I walk over, I go to take a pee, and I scream like a little bitch. And I was like, what the fuck? You know, like I look down and I'm like, everything looks good, but there's blood on my dick hand. So I check, and I mean, like, it looks
His
like
dick hand.
somebody put like ground up beef through a fucking cheese grater
Oh.
afterwards. Yeah. So I didn't go to the hospital because I don't like hospitals. I'm not a smart man sometimes. So I was just like, this will heal, whatever.
So your dick has scars.
Yeah. When I tell people like most of my body is scarred, somebody has made a joke before. Oh, at least your dick isn't. And I was like, well,
You see,
here's
I
the
fucked a
real
gravel
point.
pile.
yeah. Yeah, I think like maybe my left foot doesn't have scars on it. That's the only body part that doesn't have a single scar on it.
I think this is probably the only story you've never told me.
Yeah, for obvious reason. I don't tell a whole lot of people that I had my dick in
Well-
a gravel pile.
You just told YouTube, so.
That's fine. YouTube can hear it. It's time they know the truth about Padre.
That his
Okay,
dick
so-
is
Man.
mixed
about
up
time you-
hamburger.
Hey, some people like hamburger, all right? Oh,
I,
round
I even gagged on that a little bit.
yeah. Ooh, buddy. All right.
I was like,
Ooh.
oh, no. Let's not do that.
Yeah, okay, we're good. Sorry, I had to
Har.
reflect for a moment on all my life choices up to this point.
We can skip question time right now because I think we all talked about quite a lot of stuff. Unless you guys had a specific question for the group or anybody here.
Not really.
No? Chase?
Ethan, why are you bad?
Why, am
Why
I
are you
what?
such a weeb,
What?
Ethan?
Yeah, why are you bad? Why are you such a piece of shit?
He smiles. He tried not to smile. He tried to be serious, and he tried.
What's your favorite anime, you weeb piece of garbage?
He's trying to
Who do you
recover.
dress
He's got to
up
get his
as?
poker face back. Give him a minute.
He hasn't giggled this much since he was a little schoolgirl. I made that joke earlier.
He's
no one-
trying so hard. He's trying so hard.
He had
Let
to
it-
take his headset off.
He's trying so hard to get his poker face back. Let's see. Let's
God,
count.
Red
Let's
wasn't
count down the
wrong. I am
time.
funny.
Put a timer. Myself. Put a timer up there.
This is where we should put the Jeopardy music.
Yeah. Just gently in the background to see how long it takes for him to get his poker face back. He still fucked it up.
Still not there.
Okay, anyway, skipping to the next part. Helen, did you have any final questions or no?
No.
Okay, cool. All right, so main topic of the day that we wanted to get into that I thought would be really interesting to talk about. Video games now compared to the past, like when we first started playing them compared to now. The appeal of them, what we feel about them, how they relate to
Shit.
society
Bullshit.
now. Yeah, pretty much. Relate to society now versus then. Because I know, I'll just start off on a little tangent. I know back when I first started playing, I don't know, like Windows 97, Worms 2, and shit like that. Battlefront 2, PS2, playing the Spyro games, Kirby on the NES, things like that. That was super
That's
cool,
where
and
you
having all
started
the.
at?
I mean, I started in Windows 97 and stuff like
God,
that. Yeah, I
feel
know,
way
right?
older than I
Hey, you
already
remember?
felt.
Do you remember, Chase, that huge block, that concrete block of Sega, that portable Sega that they had?
Yes, Jesus Christ.
That
yes.
thing was great. I like
God.
that. Battletoads.
Don't
But
talk about Battletoads. I'll have flashbacks.
Battletoads
GameStop.
was yes. But playing games like that and having all the cheat codes and all the secret areas and things like that versus now where everything's just like money grab. That bothers me immensely. Even with the new Spider-Man, I love the new Spider-Man, love it to death. But
Oh, wish
The-
I knew what it was like.
but the DLC dropping literally before even the game was out kind of bothered me a little bit, considering they could have just thrown. I know like the game was done, but they could have like even postponed it a little bit. But they're going for the extra money grab. That kind of annoyed me a little bit. Or even dropping like, I mean, heck, GTA. Yeah, I know they make a whole bunch of money from the in-game money purchases or whatever, but they drop free DLC all the
Fucking
time.
shark cards.
Yeah, but they drop free DLC all the time, and it's huge DLC. It's not even small stuff. It's giant
That's why I'm
stuff.
okay with it. Like I do hate when I'm playing GTA. I hate the people. Like you can play for hours and hours, and you're not gonna break a million for quite a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, the other day we played for 4 hours straight. I was with a group of people, and I banked 500,000 out of all the online.
And we
stuff
played
that
for
did.
2 hours, and we only made 250 about from all that. So
Yeah, and it's like, so I enjoy the game enough and the variety of missions and everything that I don't mind grinding for it. But then there are those people that the douchebags didn't grind for the money they got. They have like the oppressors and they're flying around. They have all
and they have the
expensive
rocket bikes and all that
and
bullshit.
they're just and they're just harassing everybody. Like
Yep.
I think games like that, they should put those people into their own lobby because I don't want to feel like I need to spend money on a
Just
game.
to try to fight them. And
Yeah,
then like when you
exactly.
shoot a rocket at a flying bike, and it survives 5 rockets, but then your bike can take 2 shots to a tire and explode. That
Yeah,
kind of
and there's
bothers
just
me.
If they didn't drop the DLC, if they didn't do that for free, I would not feel that the microtransactions are justified.
Not in
But
the
they give us
slightest.
something back.
Because it's like
But
EA, because you can just buy your way to success, is what it is.
exactly, yeah. And I remember, this is where I date myself, not in a fun way.
Can't meet himself in a back alley.
I'm
Oh.
gonna try to limit it to like one dick joke per podcast. Failed, but I'm
You've
gonna
already
try.
made like 4 though. What do you mean?
Yeah, that's why I said I'm gonna limit it now.
Pretty sure it's more than
But,
that.
Penis.
I don't know.
But
Got him.
no,
Chode?
I started out with like the NES,
Excuse me.
and
sir.
if you ever put Donkey Kong Country Returns, Aladdin, or the Lion King game in front of me, I will fuck your grandmother. Okay, because those are hard. Those are
They
hard
are hard
games.
as
Like
hell.
Contra.
Yes.
Put Contra in front of me.
Contra
put
was
a gun to my head.
Contra
and
was
say,
hard.
Hey, you have to beat this in one go. You might as well just shoot me because
Yeah.
I mean, those
Yep.
are, like, Christ, Castlevania.
And you had to
Contra
restart
back in the day.
entirely every time you lost.
Exactly.
Like Mario was
Yeah.
different, but those games you had to restart entirely.
Yeah, and I mean, I honestly, I could play anything today, and like you could put it on the hardest difficulty, and it doesn't feel like there's as much.
Of a challenge.
Yeah, because you can just always restart. But you know, like say you're playing Aladdin, which still love that game, but you know, grandma fucking that whole thing. It just like once you lose your lives, you restart the whole game.
Yep.
Like there's no, hey, you restart from this checkpoint back here with the lives you had at that checkpoint. It's just like, fuck you, buddy. Go to the beginning. You know?
And Contra, no matter what guns you had, no matter how far you got, you didn't reset on that level. You restarted the whole
Dude,
thing.
That game is all timing. People.
It was so good. It was good, but
yeah,
it pissed
people
you
will say
off.
skill, and the skill is not how good you are at the game. The skill is how you are with timing and things like that. Like
Yep.
you have to time where the enemies are because it's always in the
The
same.
jumps. Don't forget the jumps.
Mm-hmm. And then I still have my original Super Nintendo I got when I was a kid. I
Yep.
still have Donkey Kong, Pitfall, Spawn, one of the Batman games like Taz.
You have
And
the
it's
Teenage
just-
Mutant Ninja Turtles one for NES? That was a
No,
good one.
I have a stack of NES games over there, but I don't have the NES itself. But
Oof.
it just, I mean, and then like games advanced into like the PlayStation, the 64,
Game
and
Boy
there was
Advance,
still-
Game Boy Color.
yeah, and there was still that feeling of difficulty. But
Yep.
now, Christ, like I've been playing Shadow of the Tomb Raider, man, and I haven't put it on the hardest difficulty yet, but
They're getting back to
it's a
it.
breeze. Yeah,
They're getting
and I
back
mean, those
to
games are phenomenal. Yeah,
Yeah.
like those games are phenomenal to play through, but sometimes there's just no feeling of difficulty there. It's like I don't feel much of a challenge. Like for instance, I think it was Modern Warfare 2. Put it on the hardest
No.
difficulty. It didn't take me more than another hour or two to on the regular setting, and
Yeah.
it's just it's not. There's a gap between what used to be difficult and what people think is difficult now. I think a lot of games too have started catering to a younger crowd to try to bring them in as well to keep the game industry going. You know, because those are your featured gamers
hell,
right there.
Fortnite's a free game. The Battle Royale portion is a free game that's made $44 billion just the first year it was out.
Yeah, and
That's nuts.
yeah, and it's just like you got to draw them in somehow, but you have to make your money. Where you have games with microtransactions and stuff, they scale the difficulty down, and they throw in a bunch of stuff that you have to pay for, and it's just.
I mean, hell, even like in something you guys wouldn't relate with in this sense, but something that even is from my perspective, bringing in a different portion in Yu-Gi-Oh, the Duel Links game that came out. Like it's for PC, it's for phone, but you can, yeah, pretty much. You can pretty much pay to win the game, like in world championships and shit. And which I know that's IRL too. Like you buy your cards or whatever, you hunt and get the best deck that you possibly can. But it's annoying when you even have that in a game where it could be fixed, but you can buy all these packs and everything and get the best cards and form your deck versus just playing the game. You have to spend hours just to get the gems that you need just to buy them. But of course, there's the microtransactions of buying the gems just to get the packs, so you get the right cards to win world championships even.
Yeah.
And that's irritating to me because it's like then it's not even a skill based thing, because there could be somebody that's extremely lower on the scale of income and stuff, or poorer or whatever, that could be a lot more knowledgeable and intelligent on things like that, but can't play it because they're getting destroyed by all these people who spend a shit ton of money just to be able to do it. And that, I don't know, it's irritating. Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, and like
You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of Hearthstone.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it reminds me of.
Yep.
That brings me back to the GTA thing. I've purchased maybe 3 shark cards, and the rest of the money that I like, the big amounts that I made at once, have all been, they're like, hey, if you log in at this time, we'll give you this much money. Or if you do this in game, you get this much money.
Or buy the game again from GameStop and get that 1.5 mil.
Yeah, like when they blocked my account for that at GameStop because I purchased a copy for myself to get to 1.25 because I was like, hey, it's on sale. If I trade in a copy, I have more money than what it costs right now to get a new one.
Yeah.
And I did that for 2 other people because they couldn't make it to GameStop, and they're like, hey, you can't trade anything in for like 3 months, dude. But that's the only way I've ever gotten any money in that game. Just those couple times I bought shark cards or stuff like that. But like, we didn't really do much free mode, but I have, except the Doomsday Bunker, I have one of every major business. Like, I have a couple cars that you have to spend over $1 million on to change them at Benny's. And it's like, that stuff, that's not just me playing it, because it's such a well-structured, fun game, at least to me, in my tastes. But then there are some games where it's like Fortnite. That's all cosmetic stuff, but at the same time, I have no drive because
to keep playing it because it's the same shit over and over and over.
Yeah, exactly.
And same
Grand Theft Auto, they're always, hey, like, here you go, and
yeah, and it's stuff you can actually use. And like even with Rainbow Six, I mean, Rainbow Six is fun and has its different types of matches and stuff, but it's the same type of stuff over and over, and then it's only for cosmetics, and there's no drive to keep doing it, if that makes sense. Aside from the actual game.
In that sense, it also ruins any feeling of difficulty. Grand Theft Auto, you can play that for hours and hours, but it's also because it's not that hard.
Yeah.
Or like Fortnite, I don't think it's that hard. I always placed well when I played, but again, that's a kind of game I like to play, but it wasn't difficult. It's not difficult at all, And again, everybody has their own individual tastes. It's just usually when you have a game where there's a lot of microtransactions and everything, it's not going to be that hard to play. It'll pit you against other people that probably have more money than you, and that, I wouldn't call that difficulty. I would call that people being jackasses, or just a wage gap, more or less, or what the fuck ever. But yeah,
what do you feel about those the time limited events too? Like, because I know, like, for example, on Fortnite, they had that Thanos one that was on for a while. They had, for Gears of War, they've had special, like, events for Easter and things like that.
See, that again, that all...
Yeah, and then, like, even Destiny, the Halloween events and things like that.
It depends on what kind of event it is.
Overwatch.
Yeah, Overwatch. Yeah, exactly. Like, even the Overwatch events, you can only get skins at certain times, and that kind of, like, pisses me off, too, because it's like, what if you were working, like, during that time, you wouldn't be able to get them, and then right after that, you had all the opportunities in the world to get them, or you wanted to build up all that currency just to be able to get it, but you get all of the other unlocks, you don't get the currency. That encourages you to buy in-game money just to be able to get them. That's irritating to me.
That's what happened to me when I actually played Fortnite when I first got it. There was an event going on, and I was working at GameStop. I'm like, I don't have time to play this, and I almost genuinely considered spending a little cash just to get some loot boxes and stuff before the event ended so I could get those skins. But ultimately I was like, no, like, I don't want to spend real money on it, because what if I don't play this game later down the road?
And we're not as much.
Yeah, and games like that, usually there's a correlation between games like multiplayer games that have events like that and a difficulty scale. Because then it's just, you've either got to play a ton, you got to pay some money to get skills or something like that, So there's no difficulty from the game, it's other people. And again, this is just my opinion, but if the game isn't hard on top of that, it's not going to hold my interest for very long. I could sit down, I could go hook my Super Nintendo in right now, turn on Donkey Kong and start at the very beginning, even though I have 3 saves where it's all at the very end, can't beat the final boss, fuck that game. But I could sit there and I could start playing through, and it's such a challenge. I would be like, no, like I can't, I'm getting mad, but I gotta beat it. Like I have to get through this part because there's it's more of a sense of pride as a gamer that I can get through these challenging parts, and it's not just like, hey, I can shoot 5 people, like there's no other.
It's not the same sensation or feeling.
Yeah, other people are more difficult in the game, and at that point, it's when it's like,
because it's not the game you're fighting at that point. It's just people, and it's annoying, and you don't.
I hate people anyways. So
I mean, that could be taken 2 different ways. It could be taken as like we don't like online games or multiplayer or something like that, which I don't know if it's per se that. Yeah, exactly. I don't think it's as much per se in that. It's just that there's a fine line that oftentimes developers cross, and I don't know how to feel about. Like, for example, Sea of Thieves, right? Mm-hmm. It doesn't have the best story, but it has a lot of things that you can do in it. And yes, you can battle. Yes, you can work with other people, but you don't have to. You can still have the multiplayer experience. And, I mean, you could form an alliance with everybody. And if you guys all are doing things, you can make a ridiculous amount of money on it. Or you could go fight people the whole time and put up a flag to go fight them. And I think that's neat, I guess.
Then you have events that force you to play with other people. And that kind of,
Go.
It's just like what they're doing with Fallout 76. It's multiplayer,
Mm-hmm. I haven't known much about that, so if you want to explain it, go for it.
There's still that single play. I'm not gonna buy it, but thanks. But there's still that single player outlook that you can do instead of just having to play with everyone. And go ahead, Chase. Prove me wrong.
This is just something I know quite a bit about. So with Fallout 76. Okay, so Sea of Thieves, that was what Dustin was talking about. With Sea of Thieves, when they have an event or something like that, it forces you, like the Megalodon. Can't really do that by yourself because you have to sail the ship and have the song, to get. So
you at least need 2 people, at least.
Yeah, and now Fallout 76, this is where everybody kind of like gets it a little muddled, but you do not. They said there's not going to be anything in that game that makes you have to team up with people, and I like that because while I will play that with people, I don't like playing with random people. I have a group of people I play everything with, like my brothers, games like that. That's all us, And so I'll play with those guys, but say none of my friends are on, or like, if you guys were playing it or something, I'd play with you, obviously. But say nobody else is on, then I can play it, and it's not going to be like, hey, here's this special thing to go kill, but you can't do it unless you have 3 other people. They're not going to do anything like that, and that, as far as the multiplayer game conversation, I like that. Like, make it multiplayer, but don't make me have to team up with other people, because with a Fallout game, especially keeping with the theme here, it'll be harder to play by yourself because you're gonna have all these other people out gunning. Like, maybe they're gunning for you. Like, you got to get the codes to launch the nukes, which takes a long time. I guess you can bomb anybody anywhere. Like, say you've got those people are gonna come after you, and at that point, that would make the game harder.
Yeah.
Because then you have to play the game, but you have to worry for people too. That's what I appreciate in a game that has online. Like, if I'm not worrying about the game at the same time, it just kind of, there's not a good balance there, in my opinion.
Also, I kind of want to hear Helen's feedback on this too, because she hasn't said anything for a little while.
Yeah. What part though?
Just your idea of games then now. Like, what's your thoughts and feelings about like when you started compared to now?
I started with PlayStation 1 and the Game Boy, the red one, the square, small red one. Yeah, I started with those, and
no, Dustin's eating. That's my problem.
I feel so old.
I mean, yeah. I'm 18, so yeah. Anyways, and I got I remember I used to play the Super Mario one, I think, yeah, with my cousin, and we would like try to beat that game for months.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't happen now.
No.
Like
Yeah,
I remember
not at
I
all.
could run through the story of GTA, like the San Andreas one. After one point, I could finish it in a day.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't played newer games as much because no console, no good computer, but I've watched a lot of people play it, and my experience is mostly with EA, which
Oof,
is
that's rough.
basically, yeah, and it's basically, they don't bring out a game to like bring out a game and have people play it. They do it just for the money.
Yeah.
And you can tell when the game is like 40 euros for me, and then the DLC is 20, and then the
Yep.
next one is also 20. And like, no, I don't want to pay 20 euros, 20 extra euros for a DLC.
And
Yeah, and
something with
they'll
that,
sacrifice story and fun
Yep.
for more money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like even with Destiny 2, for example, all their fuck ups that they've done with the story and like making it not something that's even really wanting to be replayed or anything like that, and then bringing out multiple DLC that didn't even have raids or anything like that, and it's just a, I don't know, it
Make
wasn't.
the small stuff free, and more people are gonna want to play.
Yeah, and then they went for
Bring
more money
people in.
grabs, and it was just really irritating. And then after all that, they're still like, oh yeah, this DLC is gonna still be three-quarters the price of the original game,
Mm-hmm.
unless you want all the extra stuff and this new season pass. Then you gotta pay like $80 to $100.
See, World of Warcraft. I hate even talking about this game. It was a dark time in my life. But World of Warcraft, they have all these big expansions that cost a lot of money.
Yep.
But if you look at what they add to the game as far as like quality, content, I would pay every cent of that happily. But then you have Destiny where it's like, okay, hey, we already had this, but we cut it out so we could charge you more for it. It's half the price of the original game every time, and it doesn't add a whole, like Forsaken. I'm excited about that because it adds a new type of weapon, all new supers, and
Still
like a
pisses me
whole
off
big
that they're
story.
charging everybody ridiculous amounts for it though. But yeah,
and I
same,
mean,
same on all that.
if the content is quality enough, I don't mind paying it. But if it's just like a reiteration of the same old bullshit, you're not getting my money.
I'll let you
And,
know
like,
in this week.
Yeah, I've been trying to, but I was saving for that Spider-Man PS4, and then I got dicked on that, so I haven't. I think Shadow of the Tomb Raider is the newest thing I have, and probably will have for like the next couple months. So, yeah, it just. I'm not too upset about it though either, because I know, like, what's cut. Red Dead Redemption's gonna be awesome, but again, it's like there's nothing that I know I'm gonna just sit down and play through because it's not gonna be. I mean, good stories, obviously. It's Rockstar, and then you've got Fallout coming out and everything. But for me, it's not going to hold my interest a whole lot because I'm going to be able to just breeze through stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Or I don't think I don't think they're going to have microtransactions really in Red Dead. I mean, they'll have the typical Rockstar stuff. Bethesda, I highly doubt they would do it. But
Ubisoft would.
Yeah, Ubisoft would, absolutely. But it just.
Ethan got a kick out of that one.
It's just all story.
Oh, you're muted, my guy.
Quality.
Shit, you're right. Yeah, let's say I've played every single Assassin's Creed game. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's annoying as hell.
Oh yeah, I was muted because I gotta go do something real fast.
Okay. Be free.
A point
Yeah,
that I want to make
up.
is that we're getting.
I didn't know. I didn't know if we were gonna hold off a minute or not.
Well, I just gotta take the small boy dog out.
Okay, we'll go ahead then.
Yeah.
Talk.
Okay. So a point I wanted to make is that years ago you could buy a game for whatever price, and it would take you a while to beat that game.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yep.
then they wouldn't be like, hey, you need extra story, pay more it would like just that game.
They would just make a second game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which that I was fine with because I didn't have to like it was something new, not like a new part on that game.
And sometimes
know.
it's not even the best additions to the game either.
Yeah.
Like, I know a lot. Okay, this is going to sound bad. A lot of people for Destiny 1 hated Dark Below. I like Dark Below. I actually really liked it a lot. A lot of people hated it. But then you get into stuff like doing like the first Destiny 2 DLC where it really didn't add much to the game at all. You fought, like, okay, for example, you fought a worm god, which basically if you play Destiny 1, you know that Crota is lesser than the worm god is, and it takes like 2 hours. In the original Destiny 1 fight, it took 2 hours, if not more, to beat Crota, right? You fight this worm god, you kill him in like 10 minutes, tops.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was super
It's
easy,
all-
and it's just like...
It's just easy strategy they throw at you. It's... Christ, what was it? It was do some damage to him.
And then...
The ground gets hot or whatever, and then it throws waves of enemies. Cycle. That's not hard. That's just recognizing a pattern.
Yeah, and it's even then, it's not something that was difficult in the slightest. I think I only died one time, and it was because I blew myself up on purpose. Because it was just we're laughing.
Yes, that was, you know.
I think I had some rocket out, and I'm just like, wonder what happens. Because they were all surrounding me, I just went, rocket jump.
Done that a couple times.
Yeah, so I don't know. It was just, it wasn't hard. Just...
My thing is, you know, because I'm in school for game design now.
Yeah.
And I know I've talked to you about my plans to start my own individual.
And I'm excited
thing.
for it.
Yeah, and God, I hope it works. But
I wanted to talk to you about that too. Really quick tangent. I want to say Spider-Man. I know you haven't played it yet, but to give you an idea, in the game, there's a lot of moments where you're walking around as characters and you cannot bump things at all because anything you bump will, like, there's certain moments you have to be quiet. And if you there's like glass you broken, well, because you know the game you were talking about, because your things, I don't want to say too much,
sounds,
but yeah, the sound. So I was thinking about it. I'm like, you could have shattered glass, you could have plants make noise, you could have sand make noise or stuff like that. It could get yeah, I know, and it gets really intense because in the game you can't even bump like boxes or tires or anything like that. Like normally in a game you could walk over it and you don't have to worry about it at all. Either your character steps over it or it's just some solid object that's part of the map. No, in Spider-Man there's certain moments where you have to be absolutely quiet, and if you bump even a box, like a toolbox, a tire, something like that, step on glass or leaves, it'll make noises and the enemies will be like, what? And then they head over to you. And if you're in this situation where you're pinned by 3 guys, you're like, shit.
For that idea, I'm going to put you in the game as someone that dies.
Oh,
that's going to be a shout out to you. Like, hey, he helped with this game. He just got his head ripped off and used as a kickball. But I like that.
You got it. Once you play through the game, I want you to really focus on that because I think that's something you could implement. And because it's not something I've seen quite before. That it's done a way that's I've not seen before, and it's really cool.
I've played a shitload of stealth games, but I can't recall anything like that. Speaking of me playing Spider-Man, donate. I need a PlayStation.
Just throw it at Padre.
But I will give you my bank account number. Wire me that shit.
And then they just take all your money.
Chase. Quick thing, Chase. So when I was over there at Dustin's recently, he actually
you mean upstairs at Dustin's?
Yes.
Yeah. He came out of the basement finally.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, man. I want to play a Spider-Man game, but I don't really want to, buy a PS4 and then buy the game. He's like, yeah, whenever you're over here, you can play it. And I'm like,
you're just rubbing it in the wounds.
You're rubbing
it in the wounds.
You know what I mean, Chase? You know what I mean?
Had almost $200 down on that Spider-Man collector's edition, and then people were ducking me. People that owed me money weren't giving me money. Stuff came up, like a dying dad, and I couldn't get it. Fuck
Keep going.
right.
I'll be back.
Okay. I like how you rub that in the wounds there, Ethan.
Yeah. My dad died, Ethan, and that's how you're gonna do me.
Talk about his dead dog and now his dead dad. Come on.
Fuck you, man. You know what? You have to buy me that PlayStation. But
I'll wait till Black Friday. That's I plan to buy a lot of games
by then.
I plan to buy a lot of games Black Friday. Like if I can get Sea of Thieves, if I can get
Just get Game Pass.
No, fuck Game Pass.
Do you know
if
how many
I
different games are in there? Plus, Forza Horizon 4 just came out, and that's totally new. I mean, even if
You
it's not
you
your
think Ethan's gonna
style.
play a racing game?
Well, no, that's what I'm saying.
I
Is even
actually
if it's
do.
not
I
your
actually do
style, it's
play
such a
a
huge
couple races.
game.
Oh
Yeah,
shit,
it's
you're
just in there
throwing
for-
yourself under the bus, Ethan.
Yeah,
Sure.
weeb.
But
But
hey, fuck you.
Even that. So see, that's another thing. I think that's something that's cool. Is they implemented the Game Pass so people can play whatever games they want. That's a cool idea, right?
yeah,
But doing all the DLC, okay, but children, calm down. But
I kept
like,
cutting myself off.
I know, but then like spending a whole bunch of money just for DLC and shit. Like I can spend $20 and get a Game Pass and play like a shitload of games versus $20 to $80 for DLC that doesn't even feel like it compares to anything anymore.
Yeah.
Like it just and it's because the name. It's like the name brand. It's stupid. I hate that. I hate that that's
Look,
a thing.
If I'm paying like half the price of the game for some DLC, I better get time out of that story as it took me to get through the regular game story.
Yeah, I
And then
agree.
some. Not just like, hey, here's 3 hours of content. Fuck yourself.
Not even
That's
that.
pretty
Sometimes
much
it's only
it.
been like an hour.
Yeah, and it just, I love Destiny. I love Destiny 2. I love the lore, but I didn't love having to pay for small things that added to it. Like when
Yep.
when I
And
do
now
my own
you need
thing-
the first 2 DLC just to get the last one now. Did you know that?
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing I have those, but because now I can just buy the individual thing. But I look at how much I've spent on DLC that doesn't even compare to the size of the original, and it just pisses me off. Because when I start my own thing, like my own independent studio, is what I ultimately aim to do. I know I've talked to you about all the different things we want to do.
Yeah.
But it just, I'm gonna make one whole ass game, and if somebody's like, hey, you should add this to it, I'm gonna be like, hey, I'm gonna make another whole ass game, and we'll add that into it. Because I'm not going to be like, hey, you've already bought my game. Pay me for more of my game. Because if I make a game and people have bought it from me, then I owe it to them to not fuck them over and say somebody has a good idea. Like, hey, you should make this area, put a small story in this area, give us a different character. Fuck it, let's do it. Like
Right.
I owe it to people that want to play my product, something that I've spent all this time making. They don't owe me anything. If they have bought the game. If you bought the game, you bought something I put all this time into. You bought something I'm passionate about. I made it so
And that's
people
just
can
that's
play
it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I made it so people can play it. So I'm not gonna make them spend any more money to, like I'm
That's how
more
you
than likely I'm gonna have to work for a big company. But if my plans come to fruition, however many years down the road, I'm not gonna make paid DLC.
And plus, it's like even I feel like another thing that's really been missed out lately. Sorry, it just made me think of it. Like with the Lego games, I know they have the couch co-op stuff, which is really cool, right? But they don't really have that implemented anymore. Like it's not a thing. I remember even the turning point for it was during like the Call of Duty Black Ops time, like that
Yeah.
era. It started cutting off, and I mean they brought it back, but
What
it was
really
something.
killed it is the camera angle, though. People stopped doing the couch co-op because it did that weird like.
The
Twist.
weird,
Yeah,
yep,
I
and then
hated that.
either the up down, the angle, or the half and half, and even like the Lego games. Like I played the recent ones, like Avengers 2, or not Avengers, sorry, Super Marvel Superheroes 2, I think, yes. Anyways, and it's really weird when you get away from each other. Like it's cool that you can actually walk a distance away from each other now, but the camera angle fusion on that is so weird because it will constantly keep like spiraling, and it's super annoying. And I hate that it's a thing. It's like, just give me my separate screen and just let me stay separate. I don't want to keep, like, fusing my camera back together just to work
Exactly.
together. And
Because
I
the
don't know.
biggest problem is when that happens is like
You don't really know
it's
what's
not
going
a
on.
huge problem, but when
Mhm.
you come back, like you'll start going a different direction or some shit like that.
Yeah. Or doing some totally different action or fire at something entirely different because you're aiming at one thing
Yeah.
and then your target cursor will go over here. I don't know. It's
I mean, if you do like
irritating.
an auto lock thing, that wouldn't be a big deal. Like,
Yeah.
If it's auto locked onto what you were looking at before the camera fuses back together, it makes you feel like an idiot.
Right. I don't know. Like I remember in with Black Ops and stuff like that, where zombies you could do the 2-player split screen on that. That was really cool. And Black Ops 2 you could do 4-player zombies, which that kind of got fucked over though because Black Ops 2 zombies, unless you played on the next gen console, it got really laggy after around like 8, and it was just
Yeah.
bad.
Too
And
much on screen at once, couldn't handle it.
yeah, I know it was really really bad. But I don't know. I feel like that's something they've drifted a lot away from, and I actually do wish for Marvel, like Lego Marvel games or Lego games just in general, that they would have the online portion to that because I know they're dedicated to that couch co-op, which is really cool. But I wish they would have an online portion for that too, because that's something that, like, I want to play with friends. I don't want to just be sitting here at the same console doing, sometimes I want to just play the game and play it online with friends, but now I have to, like, either play it by myself or I have to have somebody come over here, and it's like, I don't want to really do that. I want to play the game and just record it and talk with people. So I don't know. That's just my thing, but I don't know. I remember the times like Contra, NES, Contra, Kirby, and like I would switch off controllers with my father when we played Kirby or doing Mario. Him and I would play it together, see how far we could get without using too many of the cheats, aside from like maybe one whistle or something like that. Yeah. And just keep going. And I don't know. That was cool to me. I like those times and how long it took. We'd actually set a day aside when he wasn't working, and we'd just try to see how far we could go in the game that day. And just stuff like that. I like those times. And the games nowadays don't feel like that. Like, they're starting to slowly get back towards it. Like, for example, like with the Final Fantasies, I definitely feel like those are still doing good. Because they're challenges. I mean, I didn't like that they had bullet sponges per se, which I know that's kind of like a thing with Final Fantasy, but I do have to say I still like that they're holding to the stories and stuff like that and making sure that it's maintained, and they even brought an online aspect to it with it. It wasn't implemented well, but it was still pretty good. Like the character creation and how much detail they've had. What else? Like, I mean, Gmod, they still make sure that the creation aspect is still there. I mean, there's not really a story to that, but the creation aspect's there. They let the community make it. They only ask, $5, $10 for the game and let the community create everything else, which is really cool to me. And they've not ever changed. They've never been like Minecraft where they're like, oh, yeah, you can upload whatever custom skin that you want. Oh, but now we're going to make you pay for servers, and you can't run your own server. We're going to make you pay for servers. We're going to also make you pay for skins that you don't even want. It's like, I hate that.
Buy all those crayon skins. Though.
You did buy all those crayon skins, and Shy bought me Adventure Time stuff, and that frustrates me because it's like I
bought all the Marvel ones.
Point being, exactly. It's just like it's frustrating because they like pin you.
All those packs.
They pin you in a corner just to do this, and it's like, what if you're not a huge supporter? What if you're not like a dedicated person? Like for the Marvel community versus like the DC community right now. It's like, what if you're not a huge supporter of like DC, but you want to go there just to see one character versus like Marvel where you're enticed into the whole thing and you throw your money at that willingly. It's a frustrating thing, and they're like, oh yeah, but if you also spend money on this, then you can get this free poster. And it's like, no. It's like, why don't you just give the poster and then have your fans actually be dedicated to it? And then if they want to do money towards you, ask for it, but don't be like, yeah, you have to pay just to be able to play our game or to see our thing or whatever.
There'd be so much less of a divide if they stopped making it about money and started putting more into the quality of the game.
Yep.
Because again, I mean, since it's originally started off about the difficulty of games.
Yeah.
That ties into that too, man. Like, if you're just gonna throw quantity at us, that's gonna kill the quality of the game. Unless you really take your time on it and it's not just a money grab.
And see, that's why I liked what was it? The new Spider-Man. I like the new Spider-Man so much. Yeah. I didn't mind throwing my money at it. And I know I keep bringing it up and you get upset and everything, but that's one reason why I don't mind it so much is because they stayed to the story, they stayed to the abilities and everything that you could do. They brought the original feeling back. And in all honesty, out of all the games I've ever played, it's the best one by far. But with the DLC that they brought with it, it's not something that I mind spending money on because they put so much time into it, and you feel like you actually had to try, like you could put it on easier mode or whatever, but if you put it on hard mode, it feels right, like if you mess up, you mess up. And I don't know, it felt really good. I don't mind throwing my money at something like that, and it's not even that huge of a money grab either, because I mean, yes, it's the DLC, and they could have put it into the game, but it still feels not excessive, whereas like Ubisoft, it's like, yeah, and Ubisoft, like Rainbow Six, you have to spend 10 hours into the game just to be able to buy one character if you didn't buy the season pass, versus like you spend $20 to $30.
Like a lot of the stuff that I had wanted to get, I still had to spend a shitload of time getting.
Yeah, and I mean, heck, I didn't get the first season pass. My buddy Daniel bought the second and third one, so I got it because we home share, and he bought some of the skins and stuff too, so I can wear them. But like the first season pass, I've been playing. How many streams have we done? like a lot of streams, right? And I've only gotten 2 of the characters.
Right now, the exact number.
Yeah, the exact number, Ethan.
Be useful.
Yeah.
But anyways, so don't actually do it.
I'm going now.
Oh gosh. But anyways, point being, we've done a whole shit ton of Xbox Rainbow Six streams, and I know I spent money on credits on one character that I ended up getting because my buddy Daniel bought the season pass right after that. So I ended up spending money on Ela and got it. He bought the second season pass right after that, and I was really pissed off because I'm like, that's 21,000 credits that I just lost. But I've only, out of all those streams that we've done, I've only gotten 2 more operators since then. And that's ridiculous to me. Like, I've gotten I haven't even gotten Cav yet, but I got who did I get? Hibana, and I've gotten Valkyrie and Hibana, and those are the only 2 that I've gotten. And that was since the zombies thing that came out, which that's another thing too, talking about the part-time events that only come out sometimes during the year or whatever. That zombies one, that was super cool. A ton of people put work into it, and it's still gone.
Mm-hmm.
It's been like, what, a year?
Bring it back unless they can monetize it.
Yeah, and it's stupid. I don't know, stuff like that bothers me. It just, old games felt so much better, and they're starting to slowly get back into what games should be. Like, even Detroit Become Human, there's so many different outcomes you could, like, it's a choice-based game, and there's so many different outcomes. It doesn't end on the best note, depending on which ending you get. I mean, it's still, even on the good ending, it still doesn't end on a good spot. It cuts off really quick.
Didn't the studio that made that make Heavy Rain?
I believe so, yes.
That's quality ass studio right there.
Yeah, and the whole game felt so good. You know, like, the story was good. You got attached to the characters, like some of them not so much, but some of the characters you actually felt like you got attached to. And I mean, like, Life is Strange, yeah, it was really, really good, but you didn't ever feel like you got really attached to the characters at all. But in this, it's like you actually felt like something was there, you know? Like, you wanted the characters to live. You wanted to make them happy and stuff. And that's something that matters, you know? It's like, I don't know. Even like Battlefront 2. I mean, a lot of it was like the original Battlefront 2, not the new one. I mean, the story was good in the new one, but you know my point.
Yeah, 42.
42 hours?
He really counted.
No, 42 streams.
He really counted.
42 streams, each at like 2 to 4 hours each, and I've only gotten 2 operators.
That's insane.
Yeah.
See that talking about like Heavy Rain, Detroit Become Human, and Until Dawn.
Until Dawn was pretty good too.
Yeah, I can't. They're making their own like universe. They've got a new game coming out. But what I like tying that to the difficulty theme. Those kinds of games are difficult in their own right, because if you do get attached to these characters, you're like, shit, I want them to live. But if they die, you know, like, you're bummed out. You're like, shit, now I'm gonna have to play it again.
Yep.
And that's what I like about Until Dawn. They had the butterfly effect. Like, as soon as a decision was made, it saved it and got rid of your past save, so you couldn't go back and just try to like cheese your way through it. And in its own right, that's a difficult game. Like Heavy Rain too. I really like the FBI agent, and I was at the junkyard and I got the dude killed, and I'm like, shit. So I went back, tried to do it again, got him killed a different way, because, you know, he's on drugs. It makes it hard to hit those buttons. And I was like, shit. So I came back. I had to do it 4 times. I got him killed 3 different ways. And even though I hate having to go back and go through the same scenes and stuff, I was attached to that character. I wanted him to live. So I was willing to go through the challenge of getting him through one death, only to lead him to another, until I eventually did it and he lived.
And that's what I did in Detroit Become Human too. I ended up getting pretty much 2 of my favorite characters killed, literally within the last 30 seconds of the game.
No, Connor didn't die.
Supposedly. I'm pretty sure North.
Dies.
I know he doesn't. I heard the thing, but I'm pretty sure North shot him literally right after that. But point being,
for the rest of us.
That's probably fine.
I've watched a lot of endings on that game.
But point being is, like, even up to the last minute, you know, like, there's still bad things that can happen, and just the amount of, like, you want to replay that whole chapter just to fix that, because I went back and replayed it just so I could fix that last ending bit to get the ending that I wanted. And I don't know. That's the type of content I feel like it should get back to. Like even if it's not a choice-based game, even like in Outlast, right? I mean, yeah, you restart at certain points or whatever, but you still want to try to save characters or save yourself or do whatever. You actually feel like you're in the game, and it makes you actually give a shit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And
Even with,
those are the kinds of things I like to watch too. Like if it's, I would rather. I know this is like 2 topics ago.
yeah,
But I would rather see somebody stream like the single player, like those kinds of games, especially a horror game.
Yeah.
Because say somebody's like paying attention to the chat, they turn back, there's something in their faces. It makes it more tense.
Yeah.
If they have to pay attention to the people. But like for the recorded stuff, like the multiplayer, not so difficult kind of games like that. That's what I'd rather see is like a recorded, edited video, because with a live stream of a harder to play game or like a very heavy story-based single player game, you get like real raw emotions out of that.
Yeah.
Like, for example, if I was streaming Tomb Raider, there's a couple times you're going to see me scream or like want to chuck my controller through the TV. But, most people edit stuff like that out, except for key moments.
Yeah.
Like Resident Evil 7, I streamed that when I first got it, and I jumped out of my chair. And like you could see me, I was visibly terrified.
Right.
Because also I was playing it in the dark, and I'm a 28-year-old man who is afraid of the dark for real. So it just like some people have stuff like that, and I would rather see them live stream that because there's real frustration from a challenge. There's real terror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It makes sense. I don't know. Games just don't feel like what they used to be, and it really disappoints me. I mean, they're like I said, they're getting back to it, but it's not what it should be by far. I mean, we've come a long way. We've gotten a lot more progression, but they've went in the wrong way for game development, if that makes sense. I feel, but
Yeah.
all right. Also, last thing, because we're
more about
getting
money, man.
closer on time. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, closer for me to, what I mean.
Yeah. Do you
Oh,
guys have any
child.
last thoughts? And then do we want to answer questions? And then
I had an idea. That since this is getting edited, we can just edit this part out. As far as like what we do for podcasts and stuff, like maybe those of us that are actually on the podcast come up with a couple topics for like another one, and then put that to a vote with the rest of the community. Because I think it was Winter said that she got all excited for nothing because she thought she's gonna like watch this live. But that way, people that were excited about that or like want to have more of a hand in the podcast that aren't going to be in it, they can vote on what topic we come up with.
that'd be a good idea. I like
Plus,
that.
it's a thing that you can always switch people out. Like, let's say I'm not available next time you're
I'm
filming.
never going anywhere. Fuck you guys. I'm here. I'm here to stay. Y'all have to see
Maybe
this.
I
myself.
also wanna make the
Helen.
same thing, like
We're going.
be here.
Yeah.
But
Switch someone.
when
you got
classes start
school,
earlier, yeah.
College, fun. Same for you too,
I
Trish.
I always,
I'm always
will.
available to have my schedule worked around for this.
My
This is-
classes will
yeah.
always be off on Tuesdays, so I'll have Tuesdays off. So Monday nights would work for me.
We can do that then. We can make this a regular thing.
Yeah, Monday nights do work for me. I've never scheduled them.
Okay. Well,
I
let's
think
do that.
I think we can get enough content and we have enough people to maybe do it like bi-monthly if people enjoy it.
Yeah, we could do it weekly. We could do it monthly if we want. It's up to
I
whatever
don't know
people
about
want.
weekly. Maybe like every 2 weeks. I feel like if it's weekly, it could
That's
get.
bi-monthly, Ethan.
No,
what you
it's
said.
not.
No, it's
Every
not.
2 weeks is
There's
not
4 weeks in a month. We do it. Oh yeah, okay, I see.
Bi-monthly
Bi-monthly means
every
something
2
different to
months.
me.
Yes.
Yeah.
It'd be
I
bi-weekly.
know it's bi-weekly, but I've always said bi-monthly, and I know what you mean. Yeah. So
Because
fuck you guys.
if it's like, it could get boring.
It's different out here. Okay, Colorado is different than Ohio. All right.
Corn.
Everything is backwards.
Corn?
That's Australia.
You
Wait, no, that's
fuck
upside
yourself with an ear of corn. I don't
No,
know.
that's Southern girls.
Yes,
Oh,
Southern girls do make
They
do.
make do.
They make a dick bottle cap. Anyway, or bottle opener. Anyway, it could get
Dick bottle cap. Fuck.
Fuck you. You know what? I was hoping
Oh,
no one would point
sorry.
it out, but you pointed it out.
No, I smacked my toe into my desk, and when I did, I threw my hand down and hit.
Hit your what? You cut out there?
Yeah, you what?
My dick.
Bottle
I thought you
opener?
said no dick jokes.
Oh my god, that's not a dick joke. That's a dick tragedy.
That's a dick choke.
Oh, that's a dick trauma. Oh, it's gonna have PTSD now.
I think it already did after the gravel pile.
Yeah, no, if it could talk, it'd be crying constantly.
It's like, why do you do this to me? All these
I feel that.
STDs.
But
Never
yeah,
had
I don't
one.
know.
I'm sorry.
I don't know. We'll have to see how it,
Work
you know,
it.
people react to this first one. You know.
They'll love
Yeah.
it.
Just say Re301 Thursdays, episode 1,
301
here.
Thursdays
They'll love it.
version 2.
2.0,
2.0.
Mark 5.
Mark, go fuck yourself.
No. All right.
Don't do
Let's
that.
let's
during the
do
podcast,
let's do
Jesus.
the questions
Kill
from
him.
the crew really quick. I do want to bring those up.
I do have something.
Winter. Okay, wait, hold on. Questions for the crew. Whoa, effect. Okay.
Like 3 times there, but okay.
That's okay.
Questions for the crew. That's
do
cool. What are you gonna do about it?
do you have any attachments you would like to have for the future? What she means is like a thing to hang on to, like a keepsake for a lifetime. Like, is there
What?
anything? Do we have anything that we want to hold on to for the future, like a keepsake in our lives, like something personal?
Because I can show you right now. I have it right next.
Do
to
it. Do it.
I've had this for 7 years already. It's the old iPods. You know, this one's
Oh
pretty.
my
like,
god.
it has the camera.
You
But
nerds.
I
you
love
nerds.
Look
this.
at that
so
fucking
much.
screen, dude.
You can
It's
see the dents like all over. You can see like all the chipped paint. I've had this so long. I've dropped on so many pieces of concrete, and I have it every single day in my Edge jacket. I have it always on me, and I always want to keep it. And I'm like, man, you know, if I ever have a child, that's theirs. That's theirs now. Like that's
have
what I want. That's what I want to do. I want to give them this.
Children are
iPod
the
that's
worst STD of
destroyed.
all.
Dude, that thing
My thing is kind of weird,
Shoot for it.
but not too weird. I have a doll, like a Barbie doll,
Mm-hmm.
from when I was like, I don't know, 9 years old, and she's kind of broken, but I want to fix her, like move her head to a different body, and then fix her hair and keep her for my
Decapitation
children.
at its finest.
No, it's like making the doll new for my children, but still be the same doll that they love so much. So that's the thing I want to keep.
and you'll still have like a sentimental value to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
What
bad.
is it with everybody wanting to
respectable.
pass stuff on to children? Why do you want to have children in the first place?
Oof.
Why not?
With a gravel pile.
Dude.
I'm gonna hold that over your head for as
Oh,
long
dude,
as I know you.
There's no holding stuff like that over my head.
No,
no
the
reason.
gravel pile was held over his head.
Ah. Huh.
No, that's what that was. Never mind. Okay. Anyways, it's dead. It's dead. Anyways,
family friendly.
Chaucer, any keepsakes?
Oh, fuck me in the beard. This is a hard one.
I don't think that's my job.
God.
My copy of Salem's Lot. I have like a. It's not a first printing of it.
Yeah.
But I have a copy of Salem's Lot that I've had for at least since high school. But it's an older one. Like around the time the book was written. But that or my copies of Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, because that series is what got me into horror. And even though I'm afraid of the dark in my adult years, I don't know, I love being scared and stuff, and like horror, and that's where it came from. But either that or I've got this little wooden coin that my dad made me with some Viking runes on it. It's for luck, because I have terrible fucking luck, man. Like,
Dude,
it's not even this
Oh,
isn't like a
shit.
sob story or anything like that, but I have had the worst luck of anybody I know. Stupid shit always happens to me. I've learned to just brush it off. But he always, used to say if you didn't have bad luck, you'd have no luck. I mean, Dustin, some of the absolute dumb outrageous shit that has happened to me.
Your mouth,
But,
your back.
That, like, not even just that stuff, man, but just like the situations that I get put in. And because, you know, most people, bad situation happens, they blame it on everything else. Well, in my case, most of those, I can blame it on everything else because it just happens. But I actually have it sitting on a shelf up there right now. But he made it for me for luck, and I'm not an overly superstitious person, but I shit you not, any day I have had that on me. Like, I've never had a bad day. Like, nothing bad has ever happened to me on days that I have that in my or something. So I just like to, you know, especially with his recent passing, I'd hang on to that. So yeah, just that or my books. I'm a fucking nerd. I'm not even like a nerd. I'm like a book kind of nerd, first and foremost. That's the worst kind. I hang out at the library.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
actually do. I do that though twice a week.
Yeah, I go to the library during study hall because I can't stand fucking 7th graders in study hall.
Fucking
I wanna
nerd.
So
Oh
just
yeah,
play
big
games on my
8th grader
phone.
can't stand 7th.
I would say if I had anything, it would probably be like 3 things, right? It'd be
Me.
yeah, definitely you're my keepsake.
Your lolly hat.
I have no. I got this emotional side of the story first to get that out of the way. Golden pocket watch for my grandmother before Alzheimer's kicked in. I was given that by her. And she forgot me, yes. But it's like the last thing that I got from her. So that's like a thing that I have locked away. And then on the funnier note, you guys are going to call me a nerd. I'm just waiting for it. I have a mint condition Blue Eyes White Dragon that I have. Yep. Uh-huh. And as a kid, I'm keeping it because as a kid, I always wanted to be like, yes, I have the only one in the world, like in the show or whatever, you know, like there's only 3 or whatever. So as a kid, I wanted to keep that. And I've just thought about that ever since then.
50 years down the road.
Yep.
You're really going to have the old eyes white.
And
And
no.
He was going to be so excited.
And it's not even going to be a dream anymore. You know why? Because they did reprints, so it doesn't really matter. It's because they're never going to run out. They've been doing billions of reprints, so it's a pointless dream now.
That's all right,
but that was a
because
thing.
You're a weeb anyways.
Hells yeah. And then probably comics, older comics that I've had, like old
Fucking
ones.
whole Naruto collection behind you.
Yeah, that
Oh,
too. Sure.
shit.
Fuck it.
That actually reminds me. I don't think I told you, but I have a original issue of the Death of Superman. But mint condition. When my mom
That's a
died,
lot of money.
Yeah, I think it was when my mom's aunt died. She had it like tucked away,
Yeah.
and she asked me. She's like, "Hey, like, is this worth anything?" And I was like, "It's worth a shitload." And so she just gave it to me. She's like, "Here you go." So I'll never sell it, but
Oof. Oh, actually, no. Sorry, it made me think of a thing. I take that back. Probably one keepsake that I would at least give to my kids, because you guys were talking about your kids earlier. I have this one stuffed animal that I had when I was really young, and I've still held on to it or whatever. Yeah, I know, choke. Yep. One stuffed animal that I had, loved to death when I was a kid, but just kind of didn't care as much over the years. But it was one that I loved since I was really, really small, and probably that.
I can dig it.
Respectable.
That's good.
So
I mean, at least it's not a doll. You know what I mean?
yeah, a doll.
Excuse you.
Hey, how are you gonna make fun of my friend Helen that way? Okay.
Ooh.
Hmm.
Goodness. Okay.
Fuck you, Ethan.
Check for anyone's. Moth Lives Matter asked, do you like moths?
Pretty late.
Yes.
No.
If I see one more moth, I'm gonna take just any meme. It doesn't matter. It could be a moth in real life. I'm gonna take a fucking back. That's how mad I am. I will take a bath with my toaster.
Ooh.
Plugged
I have an
in.
image to put now. Now that you say that, I have an image to put, but I'll have to do it later because it's pretty late.
And then we've already had a yeah, I was gonna say we've already had a lot of discussion, so I'll save Reds for next time. But we apparently have to have a debate about like silly things, like for example the spelling of gray with an E or an A, things like that.
A.
In
So-
America, it's an A.
It's
Yeah.
an A.
I say an A
Sorry.
as well.
I do both. I'm just mentally retarded.
Okay.
Sir.
We knew that, but it had nothing to do with spelling.
We'll do that. We'll save like arguments like that for our next one. But I think this is pretty good. Any final words? Chauncey, start us off. We'll go clockwise. I'll go last though.
Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoy this. And remember, Dustin, I was trying to point at the camera, but I pointed off that way. It's your duty to eat that booty.
Oh, hells yeah.
I know every time. I should have just saved you for last. Ethan, go ahead.
You really
Shit, I fucking had it, and then he said that, and I had to say it with him, and now I
Can't top
lost it.
That's why I say it.
I hope you enjoyed this blurred right here, right about here. Hope you enjoyed, that the whole time. Shut up, Chase. No one likes
It's
you.
just gonna be your whole... At the very end when he says this blur, make it his face.
Just pop it up for 2 seconds.
No, because Red will clip it. I know Red, because he already clipped you eating food in the Duck Game stream. Or the highlights. Yeah. 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 I know, because I know Red will clip it.
Gosh. Helen.
Go watch other videos. We have
Duck
creative things,
Game.
not just gaming. We have stories. They're cool. And we have the Discord server.
Down
So if you're
below
watching
in
on
the
YouTube-
description or popped up
Yeah.
right here.
And we have Chase.
Yeah. Who has
We
butthole
don't
eyes,
have to-
apparently. I just noticed him squinting.
Oof.
Hey, at least you don't have eye wrinkles.
I
Oh
do.
wait,
At least you don't look
you
depressed all
cut
the
me off before I could do it. I said, oh wait.
At least you don't look depressed all the time.
Oof.
People ask you about it.
No, that's because I drank Louis
Depressed
before.
demon.
I can't be depressed. I'm too happy. I'm just a happy person all the time.
He couldn't handle the wink. The
No
wink
one
got him.
can.
Oof. Yeah, I know. Chase swoons at it.
God, I can't do it for some reason now. I know there's these assholes at work that come in, and I give them the death stare all the time, but,
It's okay. I got this. Try again one more time.
Chase, you fucking...
What am I doing?
Fingering his Charmander in the background. Sorry.
Oh no, I was trying to move that. Why is this sitting here?
Alright, we gotta...
Yeah, we gotta wrap it up. All right.
Good ended.
Thank you guys
It
all
is
for
very
watching.
smart, Brad.
If
guys
you
are right, same
enjoyed,
sex.
yes. If you enjoyed, tell us to do more of these because I want to bring them back.
Don't tell me what to do.
Tell us what topics you want to see. We'll do them in the next one.
Suggest topics.
No.
Tell me what to
Tell us. Tell us
You're
what to
not
do.
my parents.
Anyways,
Slap me on the ass when you tell me.
tell us what topics to do. Let us talk about them. Ask us questions in the questions for the crew on the Discord. If you aren't not part of the Discord yet, down below in the description. Or if you're on Twitch, if we do stream this, it's in the info section on mobile. Or down below the stream if you're on PC. Or in the about section for YouTube. Hells yeah. Anyways, hope you all enjoyed. Share the videos. If you didn't like this one per se, check out the other ones. Like Helen said, we have a lot of other ones.
You didn't like this one too fucking bad.
Yeah, pretty much. Because this is what you're going to get for podcasts is a lot of really bad jokes and then serious talks. That is how we are.
Yes.
Dustin over there.
I might.
I am
just have a-
I am
I
down
think
in this
He's
corner.
over there.
Oh,
He's over
okay.
there.
So on mine, you're this way from me.
He's up there. There's
No,
Helen there.
no. Ethan's above me. Chase is over here. Helen's over here.
Oh god damn it!
I'm
so I've been,
over
like,
here.
pointing at you and shit.
Wait,
and, like,
Wait,
it's
so you mean
nobody's where
Dustin's
they
on
are.
top? Dustin, or no,
I'm always on top.
No, I'm on top.
Yeah, I've got Ethan up here, Helen here, and you there.
Oof.
I'm not.
Yeah,
This just fucked up all my stupid finger stuff.
I-
I know how to point. Ah!
It's like that old
There goes my
cartoon. Which
ears.
way did he go?
You're welcome. Yeah.
No,
Anyways.
I'm just gonna go take a toaster bath anyway.
That's okay. I got some pumpkin spice bleach. It's all okay. I got it
Yo,
figured out.
send me another picture of it.
Okay, I
I
will.
have pumpkin spice cereal to eat. Fucking right.
Oh, bleach?
Goodness.
Wait, did you pour the
Cereal,
bleach
not
first?
bleach.
Yeah, the
Wait,
bleach
wait,
first
wait.
or the cereal
The
first?
cereal first.
Cereal first. Nice big bowl of kill yourself in the morning.
It's
No,
like
I'm
that
joking,
noose
Dad.
behind you, am I right?
Yeah, bring up my dead dog again.
I have to pee and this hurts. Oh.
End it, so I don't
Oh,
get yelled at
gosh.
more than I already am.
All right. Stay positive, stay creative, guys. Love you guys. Talk to you all later. Hope you enjoyed.
Bye.
301 Thursdays out.
See ya.
Ah. Well, that's gonna bother me. I'm not centered. There we go.
I might just throw my hair in a goddamn bun and look like a bald guy. This is driving me nuts.
I might as well. I might as well look like Dustin.
Did anybody else just notice that?
I did.
The
I did.
light?
My light just blew.
Oh yeah.
Trying to look up at Ethan.
Well, good thing we have that good solid white light over there.
Wait, your
Rip
nipple light
light?
blue?
Yeah,
Yeah.
my
It's
light on
actually
the
white.
ceiling just blew.
Heck.
The
why?
nipple one, yeah.
Yeah, the nipple light.
Don't do that.
I was gonna make a joke about blowing nipples, but this is a family podcast.
Yeah, this
No,
is
it's
family.
not a family podcast.
Hey,
Down through here, I got acne scars everywhere. I'm a hideous fucking chud, but I'm okay with it. And you should be too, because you're beautiful. All right. There
I
you
like
go.
that green screen for a minute there.
yeah, thanks. I can't directly look in the eyes of this camera. I don't.
You look me in
Put
the
it-
damn
put it to
eyes
the
right
side.
now. Tell me how much you love me.
Hey, stop that, you weeb.
Do
Wait,
it.
Dustin, you know what you should do? I could keep the camera on the whole time, but you should just get like a blurring effect and just put it over it the whole time.
Hells
There
yeah!
it is.
Hells yeah!
There's my boy.
Hi.
God, it's been so long since I had a fucking camera.
I thought you were gonna say face. I was like, is
Yeah.
that why you haven't shown us this whole time? You were just missing it.
Yeah, I've just been missing this.
See, he's locked in my like we said, he's locked in my basement. I haven't fed him Arby's in like 5 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. Blur
Yeah.
the face.
The
Blur the
big
face,
moving
but
wiener.
here, I'll send you my my profile picture so you can have the blur, and then you can have the profile picture on top of it on like the left hand corner, like right here.
That's right.
Just chug that thing down, then, man. It's all whiskey.
That's what I'm about to do.
That's what he does do.
Tell me
That's
you
what he
know
does
my mom?
best.
No, I don't. You make it sound like I drink a lot of alcohol or something.
Hey, whoa!
Forgot
We're
about
gonna
the
have
big bottle opener conversation.
I was gonna
Hold
say,
What the fuck?
do we want to recall your birthday, like 2 birthdays ago?
I was sober. Why do I keep leaning into my
You
mic?
were not. You were
was
literally.
sober.
You grabbed a Guitar Hero guitar and thought you were playing Guitar Hero for the first little bit. You weren't playing Guitar Hero, and then you started playing Guitar Hero, and you were hip thrusting the whole time.
Yeah, dude, that's how I used to do
Why?
it when I was in a band, except it was a microphone. I can give a shit. I've got a great pelvis.
Yeah, everybody was drunk except for me.
No, they weren't. I didn't drink.
Alex was drunk. Deej was drunk. Deej and you were laughing about the crave that mineral meme at 5 in the morning. And then you started conversating for a solid hour about how how people should have their dicks out for Harambe in a legitimate, like
That's
it was
our
a.
Lord and Savior, okay?
no,
like,
that's
That's not just a fucking
Tachanka.
gorilla in
That
a
is
zoo.
Tachanka. Excuse you.
Get the hell out of here. We even had our
No,
balls out for band
no.
too when he died.
Okay. That's where we're gonna have to draw the line here. Family friendly here, people. Let's spell it out here. FAMILY
Are you really
space
spelling it in the
F
chat?
You forgot an eye.
I
Okay, so
E-N.
anyways,
Y.
back to this.
That's how you spell family.
Yep.
I'm gonna put that on the screen just as he's spelling it, just all the letters.
He didn't fail third grade math. It was every English ever.
Spooky, scary skeletons and shivers down your spine. Shrieking skulls will shock your soul, seal your doom tonight. Spooky, scary skeletons speak with such a screech. You'll shake and shudder in surprise when you hear these